Hello, my name is Morgan Taylor. I'm a senior at Carthage College, and I'm one of 13 undergraduate writing fellows at the Brainerd Writing Center. We put together this presentation under the mentorship of our director, Heather Carroll, and it's about how we adapted to change when the pandemic hit and we switched to a virtual writing center. So a little bit about Carthage. We are a small liberal arts school with about 2,600 undergraduate students with a high-touch philosophy that has easy access to professors. We also have a writing across the curriculum model without a first-year composition course. So this means that we see writers from a variety of different majors. Before the pandemic hit, we were a large staff, 100% in-person, synchronous sessions. We often had drop-ins, and there were always fellows on staff in the writing center itself. We also had a weekly 2-hour in-person staff meeting with the full staff every week built into our schedules. So we had regular team building activities and a strong group bond. We also had important training that took a whole semester to train new fellows, and new fellows would work closely with experienced fellows in person to get a taste for what it was like to tutor. But when the pandemic hit in spring of 2020, COVID closed our entire campus. Luckily, our director, Heather Carroll, knew the importance of the Writing Center and advocated for us to stay open. Unfortunately, we did see a 45% decrease in sessions. When we moved virtual, we tried to keep things as normal as we could. This is a screen capture from one of our weekly Zoom meetings, and we continued to have these staff meetings every week, but we also tried to maintain our training program, but observations looked a little different and they were virtual, of course. We also decided to move to fully written feedback appointments when we switched to virtual writing center. And this was something that was new for all writing fellows. We had never done this as a writing center before. So we did this because everyone's schedule changed when we went virtual, and written feedback sessions allowed for us to work at our own pace and make our own schedules. For the 2020-2021 school year, Carthage decided to offer in-person learning, but also fully virtual learning as well. And as a writing center staff, we decided to stay fully virtual. We also added live virtual appointments in the fall of 2021. This was also new, but a lot of people were ready to take this on, get that contact in person with people again, or in person, but over a Zoom call. So we had a Writing Center Zoom link where people would come in. We were always on session with another fellow, and so we could have that connection like we were in the Writing Center again. We also spent a lot of our time on shifts working on a lot of side work. We were creating video workshops, Instagram mini workshops, infographics, blog posts, and advocating for Grammarly Pro. These are some of the Instagram workshops we did. Canva became our best friend. We all loved it, and we were all working on making resources for students with our free time. These are YouTube videos that we did. And the most important thing for us became Slack and communicating constantly with each other. So we used Slack. We had a lot of different channels, and we would keep each other up to date with how sessions were going, if we were needed help troubleshooting, if we needed shifts covered. But we also had stuff just for fun, and we're always trying to get that connection with each other back. This communication was really important because we would talk about troubleshooting things like Wi-Fi, but also technical issues with our clients not sharing their papers with us. We wouldn't be able to offer them written feedback. And it was really hard sometimes to balance all of this with personal and academic challenges. So we learned a lot from this. Most importantly, we learned to be flexible. And this flexibility has been brought on by something that made us all work differently than we were used to. But now, having experience in these different ways of doing that, we could be more flexible in the future. We were also getting comfortable with uncertainty, and we want to take that into the future so that we could be prepared if we're forced to adjust again in the future, and being more flexible will allow us to be prepared for these things. We've also become more accessible as a writing center and have so many more ways that students can connect with each other and connect with us. And for this school year, we returned fully in person. We've got our in-person staff meetings again. We're spending time with each other. We're able to drop by our director's office. We also are offering live sessions in person again, but we're still offering written feedback and Zoom live virtual sessions. We're still using Slack to communicate with each other, and we're still learning from this experience. So thank you for joining us for this session, and I hope you learned something too.